We're Group 2, and this is our midterm presentation. Our topic is autonomous driving, which falls under the research field computer vision. In simple terms, computer vision is the field of computer science that focuses on creating digital systems that can process, analyze, and make sense of visual data in the same way that humans do. This concept is based off teaching computers to process an image and understand it. There's a lot of similarities to human vision. For example, us humans use our eyes to sense objects in our surroundings, and then our brain interprets this image in order to reach a conclusion. Instead of a simple object, computers use image or video as input. Their sensing device could be a camera or a sensor, and their interpreting device is the or program that processes the input. The subtopic is autonomous driving. An autonomous vehicle is one that is capable of sensing its environment and operating without any human involvement. A car is only considered fully autonomous if it can perform all driving tasks under all conditions, with zero human attention or interaction required. The Society of Automotive Engineers currently defines 6 levels of driving automation, ranging from level 0, no automation or fully manual, to level 5, full automation where there is no human attention needed. To help visualize where we are, Tesla Autopilot and Catalyst cruise systems are both considered to be level 2. When it comes to subproblems, some of the most important ones that will be explored in this presentation are light, lane, and object detection. The first article to be presented explores a key point estimation instance segmentation approach and detection. Lane detection is a crucial subproblem in autonomous driving, and this paper proposes instance network method. This is key points estimation, a technique which predicts important key points from input images. It also consists of hourglass modules that are trained simultaneously. These can transfer information to deeper layers, which helps the whole network obtain global and local features. Additionally, it allows the clipping of hourglass modules, so computing resources can be adjusted. The method consists of 2 parts: the resizing network, which reduces the input image size to save memory and inference time, and the predicting network, which takes input from the resizing network and predicts the exact points of lanes. Confidence about key point values, about existence, offset, and embedding features in the output grid generated are predicted by the output branches. There are several autonomous driving agent setups that consist of many cameras, but one issue that is often overlooked is how these systems can be properly trained. This work presents newtonomy, or new scenes for short. This is a data set that contains 1,000 scenes with the full vehicle sensor suite, which includes 6 cameras, 5 radars, and 1 LiDAR. Scenes provided by this dataset contain 360-degree field of view and also night and rain instances, which is important when fully training an autonomous driving system.
The first article that I chose was the real-time 3D traffic cone detection for autonomous driving. This article basically goes over how an autonomous vehicle can see and detect different colors and variants of cones while driving in various driving conditions, as in sunny, rainy, and cloudy days. This is important to our topic because the safety of autonomous driving means that it needs to understand changing in different road conditions as well as road work, and understanding what to do when there are cones in the road for the safety of itself and the safety of people around them. The next article that I chose is this one right here, talking about the LiDAR and monocular cameras. Basically, this is talking about how an autonomous vehicle uses these 2 type of cameras to see various things while driving, so it could be able to understand and detect different things, making sure it stays safe and what is around them. The third article that I chose was the formal model of safe and scalable self-driving cars. And basically, this article goes into how with a lot of companies going into the autonomous driving and self-driving category that there needs to be some sort of scalability and standardization between these companies, making sure that safety is at the utmost, importance for each one of these companies. And this goes into basically the standardizations and scalability of that for autonomous
Here we
vehicles.
have deep imitation learning for autonomous driving in urban scenarios. Focusing on a framework developed to combat the complexity of using machine learning to improve driving performance and policy automatically in an urban environment. Using offline imitated driving data, multiple scenarios are able to be ran. We can see here on the left said scenarios: turning at an intersection, entering a roundabout, and stopping at a light. This is able to be done by using front-facing cameras in combination with other sensors to create a bird's eye view. Having a bird's eye view representation makes it simple to make real-time decisions and output the planned trajectory using deep neural policy. Next, we have object detection under rainy conditions for autonomous vehicles. This is achieved by using generated images to simulate rainy conditions. Object detection is critical to autonomous driving, especially in rainy conditions. AI-generated photos are able to help simulate weather conditions without having to wait for that type of weather to arrive in real-world scenarios. These generated images that contain rain droplets or water streaks are then input into different deraining algorithms. Then that process is repeated with each generation having less water droplets or streaks than the previous. This ultimately leaves us with a clear image. However, this deraining algorithm can degrade the detection performance compared to using the original rainy images. A way to combat this and increase object detection is to gather real-world photos and process both original image and the same image with AI-generated rainy conditions, then running those images together in the deraining algorithm. Though better than the original training, at some levels it is still not up to par with the ground truth image. This paper explains how deep learning is applied in image recognition. It goes over how image verification, object detection, image classification, and scene understanding play a role in deep learning-based recognition. With convolutional neural networks, CNN, applied in different manners, it is possible to train the CNN to do object detection as well as semantic segmentation.
In this section of the presentation, we will be exploring some of the key challenges as well as the benefits that would come from implementing autonomous vehicles in developing countries. One of the biggest hurdles to overcome when it comes to computer vision in the context of autonomous driving is not having standardized and a well-structured road system. In underdeveloped countries, there can be a lot of variation in terms of how road systems are created and used. A busy road may be mainly identified by the constant flow of traffic, but not necessarily have proper traffic signs, sidewalk markers, street marks, or even asphalt to distinguish it from the surrounding territory. Due to cost, current local resources, and current infrastructure, it would not be feasible to try and upgrade these roadway networks to modern standards of developed countries. A plausible solution, however, would be to take the steps to modify the existing road structure to the minimum extent necessary for AV transportation to become possible. While developing countries would benefit in similar ways from the implementation of autonomous transportation as other countries, the manner in which it would improve the quality of life of its citizens is reflected by the immediate effect it would have on its own population. To name a few examples, in a developed country, in order for an autonomous vehicle to be considered a safer alternative than a human driver, it would need to be able to, on average, drive at least 275 million miles without any form of accident. In other countries like India, however, where traffic injuries and fatalities are much higher, an autonomous vehicle would only have to travel up to 50,000 miles for it to be considered a safer alternative. All in all, the decrease in population injury and death, along with the fuel economy due to having a network of public transportation systems that are able to more efficiently communicate with one another to create a more efficient fuel expenditure during travel, would put underdeveloped nations that that much closer to long-term growth and improvement for all its citizens.
Next, we have deep learning in prior maps to detect the traffic lights. This procedure is broken down into two phases, an offline phase for creating the map and annotating the traffic lights, and we have an online phase for recognizing the traffic lights and selecting the appropriate ones based on the expected location of the traffic light, represented by the orange circle in the figure below. With the use of deep detectors, we can recognize traffic lights and add a bounding box to them, as we can see in this figure here. And then we have the confidence score that is located right next to them, with the color that it guessed. This is the online phase. Then with the use of offline data from prior manual traversal of the road, and with the consideration of the driver's lane and speed, we can detect where the traffic light is located, which is this pink cross here. And then we have this yellow circle, which takes into consideration the threshold for imprecision and localization. Next we have the dense depth for autonomous driving. This includes a 360-degree field of view, monocular films, and precise ground truth depth obtained from high-density LiDARs installed on the bottom of autonomous vehicles traveling around the country. LiDAR is a method for determining ranges by targeting an object or surface with a laser and then measuring the time for the reflected light to return to the receiver. The data from all the sensors is time synchronized and is reported at a frequency of 10 Hz. This results in accurate depth evaluation with long range and dense ground truth depth, as I have mentioned. Lastly, we have a dataset for off-road free space detection, and this is specific to off-road environments, in different weather conditions and in different light conditions. This dataset includes 12,198 LiDAR point clouds and RGB picture pairs with detailed annotation of the traversable, non-traversable, and inaccessible areas. This is paired with the cross-attention mechanism and transformers, as we can see here. The transformer encoder extracts the features of RGB and surface normal images. Then a transformer decoder predicts the free space result. A cross-attention mechanism is designed to fuse data from both camera and LiDAR to dynamically leverage the strengths of each modality. To conclude today, we have mentioned our research project, autonomous driving, and we have tackled the various aspects of it in our strategy to implement several detection strategies, as well as data sets to help with machine learning. Thank you.